YouTube on Zoom. Sorry. I got in trouble. Everything has to be.
Good. I'm ready for a nap with, just like Gene.
Yeah, I hear that. After our ODOT meeting, today, I was
We
exhausted.
got a meeting with the state.
That was exhausting.
Yeah.
It was good though.
No, it's better than I expected. Let's not get too carried away.
Hey, I always like it when a legislator says they're mad.
They didn't use any four-letter words, so.
That was the first meeting I
That's a
haven't in a
good-
while. That was the first meeting I haven't in a while.
Oh.
Yeah, I got her text. I sent her a connection, but I don't think she was gonna do it, so.
Where's the baby being born?
Nice thing, so you can't be seen up there, you just be seen me. I don't have the audience in, so. Oh, that's not true, I can sit back here. YouTube's always a little behind, it's always a little delayed. Six o'clock, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Everybody please rise.
You're already live on the internet. Let me get you live here. You're live in both places.
All right, welcome everyone to the September Echo City Council meeting. Welcome and thank you for participating. Do want to make a note that Tammy is excused for tonight. Councilor Williams is having a grandbaby. Yay for her. So at this time, I'd like to open public comment. This is a time for comment on agenda items only. Please keep your comments respectful and positive and keep them to under 5 minutes, please. Anybody at this time have any comment on any of the agenda items? Okay, seeing as there's none, we'll move on to the regular meeting minutes and the land use hearing minutes from August. Is there any discussion on or corrections or concerns on either of those? Dave, I have a question for you on them. Actually, I'd like your opinion, because I don't think it's that important, but maybe it is. For the transportation committee, should we put in the minutes that it is only looking at the traffic immediately surrounding the school to differentiate that from people thinking it could be the entire town? Or should we just leave it as written?
You could leave it as written. I've already posted draft minutes on the website from the meeting.
Okay.
So on the meeting, if you go to the repository for the city, you will see the September, whatever day we had the meeting, the
Right.
4th. Agenda, there was no packet because we didn't know what we were gonna cover.
So
And then I did the minutes and it just talks about the school and everybody's participation.
that'll suffice, thank you.
Okay.
You want one motion or two?
You can put them in one motion if you'd like.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the regular minute Meeting minutes. I think I was drinking when it worked. For August 12th and approval of the land use hearing meeting minutes, August 14th. Also good.
Okay, Berlin has made a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from August 12th and the land use hearing meeting minutes from August 14th. Jesse has seconded those. Richard, your vote? Berlin, your vote?
Yes.
Janie, your vote?
Yes.
Jesse, your vote? Maria, your vote?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Chief Zumwalt, please report.
Well, we here.
Catch.
Okay, so school started off fairly good with their traffic flow. We did have an incident with that suspicious person in trespass who was the same person. Ended up getting into a foot pursuit, going to jail. He was definitely garnered attention. That social media was good. And I will point out, a lot of them was the 5 vehicles tagged over on this. The week before school, transit, so showed up. Those were tagged. And they came on after.
So good job with that, by the way. I saw you, when they moved in and I saw you there when they moved out, so.
Yeah. Making constant communication, because they did have for, so many hours and then take. We wanted to make sure that they. So actually, so like I said, start of school was good, pretty busy month. I think everybody had a good time at National Night Out, thank you to the city,
Had a good meal, so. I came late and you saved me some, so I appreciate that. Can I ask you a question about there's a guy hanging out by the school, got tattoos on his face and things like that. Is that the same
That's
guy?
the guy.
Okay, because I was talking to Raymond today and I guess he came back. He was sitting on the, concrete deals in the parking lot. Raymond asked him to leave, so he stepped into the street. So he's still around, but when he's asked to leave school property, I guess he finally did.
I can call the agreement, I don't know where he did stay a stint in jail, but yeah. He had reason to be in the area. So,
Not that Raymond was making a big deal about it, it's just, I just wanted to keep you informed of what
because
was
he
going
was
on. Correct. And Raymond did say that, so he told him to get out of the parking lot, so, anyway. I'm sure Raymond knows your number. Well, thank you for keeping up on that. Anything else for the chief? Okay. I do appreciate the radar. So thank you for that. Okay, well, then we'll move on to Mr. Morris with Public Works.
Do you got any questions or?
I always have some kind of question, So the new reservoir, we're having balance issues.
We never did figure out what that was, but it's working fine now. We can't, the engineers come out, we
Just turn it back off and then back on again and it worked.
left it off for like a week or 2 weeks, trying to figure out. Turned it back. No one figured out why it
As long as it's working, that's.
Trying to work the bubbles.
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
had to get after.
and then on the tree, I got 3 bids in now, and then, just scheduling to have that tree removed. Probably by the end of the month.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to find a spot for the 2 new trees.
Mhm.
The 5 branches. Yep. Figure out what we're gonna do. Project.
Council, we have this, we actually have this on the agenda item, so I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna bring up, and we should talk about that yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything else for Scott? No? Okay, very well. Thank you, Scott. Tanya, golf course report.
August was another great month for the golf course, thankfully. The total income was $46,265.06. Last year was $36,884, so we did a 25% increase over last year, which is fantastic. It was also the best month this year financially. So revenue continues to increase, which I'm really happy about. However, it is September, so I think with the season dwindling down and whether it's gonna, also reflect in the revenue. But for August, I did focus on merchandise. So I added a number of products, including Vice golf balls, Titleist hats, Sun Mountain bags, and then logoed merchandise. I don't know if you guys have been up there and seen it, but added some women's, men's, and youth polos in a variety of colors. So with that being said, I was able to increase the revenue to 3642 for August, which is a huge increase because June was a little over 2,000 and July was 2,300. So hopefully we can continue to grow the merchandise part of the business. We also had the Let Her Blow couples tournament on the 16th and 17th, which had 22 players. Not a big one, but it was a good one for our members. Last weekend, we hosted the 10th annual Campus Life fundraising tournament, which was new to our course. We had a lot of new faces and youth, which I was really happy about. So hopefully they had a really good experience and will come back and visit our course. Nobody won the hole-in-one challenge, so I mean, it's good for them, not for the participants. And then just again, the clubhouse hours are going to be changing, so I'll be posting them weekly. So just keep an eye out, just as like daylight dwindles down and unfortunately the weather turns to fall. So that's all I have to report.
On the back of her report, I added what was requested by Councilor Williams and Councilor Enright with regards to last year's financials for the entire year. And Councilor Enright had raised some questions about the loan. If you look on the second page of expenses, you'll look down there and it says loan payments, debt services. So what I do on that line item for budget actual is I budget the amount that we're estimated to pay for that year. And the reason it's a little higher last year than it was I budgeted was because that was the first year we budgeted, I had a dumb moment and forgot to do the 1% at Christmas. That we pay the 1% payment. So this year I budgeted 1% along with the regular all the way through. So I missed that payment. So that's why it was 13,225 versus 12,654. That was on me. So that was just one of those things that changed. So anyway, that's kind of I hope that answers all your questions. So
just so everybody knows, I can read it out loud. The budget for revenues was $422,000 roughly. And the actual revenue was $449,000. So $27,000 over budget in revenue. And expenditures was budgeted at $422,000. And the actual was $367,000. So $55,000 less than expenditures than budgeted. So that's over $70,000.
it was 81,000.
81,000.
We had cash carryover.
81,000.
So we haven't had the audit yet, so there'll be a few dollars here, a few dollars there, whatever she finds.
Right.
So,
But that shows the golf course being very fiscally viable.
it's still pretty tight margins, let's be honest.
Tight margins, but hopefully with the increased revenue.
Yeah, she's doing a great job with
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see the numbers for the end of this year.
Me too. September's been really good so far. So as long as the weather holds out, knock on wood, we're good. So, yeah.
Well, they can happen at night. When no one's golfing. I'm sure they'd be out there. All right, anything else for Tom? Yes.
Thank you.
I will have her job description back to you guys with the reclass in October, along with the clerk's position. So you'll have those reclassed proposals to you guys. And I meant to do it this month, but just too busy. So we'll go ahead and do it in October to get that done, just to make sure, so we don't get that dropped before I leave.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tom. Okay, on to committees. I have nothing for the art committee. Berlin, do you have anything for trail? Okay, nothing for trail. And the new committee, the traffic committee. Phyllis, would you like to fill us in on how that went? Wonderful. Thank you.
Phyllis Shabelsky, 221 West Main Street here in Echo. Very happy to be on the traffic safety committee. And I asked Raymond at the traffic meeting just how many cars showed up I didn't do the afternoon, I just did the morning. So yesterday morning, I probably looked like the weird person lurking around the school. But I sat there and counted every car that went by. And it was about 130 cars that I counted in the morning. I'm sure there were one or two that maybe weren't dropping people off. I tried to watch as they came through. So that's a fairly significant number of vehicles coming into town. And that was from 7:22 until not quite 8 o'clock, maybe 7:45, 55. Because it comes in a big spurt. But I think that there's lots of new things that we can do to better control the traffic around the school and keep things safe.
So do you want to give us a rundown of what the committee discussed?
The committee discussed changing, everybody's familiar with where the football field is and that where the crosswalk is. And there's an exit right near a large gate that's right there, but the gate's here and the crosswalk's over there. So one of the proposals was to keep that gate closed and put in another gate, as Raymond called it, a man gate. So, and put up some barriers, decrease some of the traffic or some of the parking around there, so make it wider, so that kids and adults, anybody there can come out of that man gate and go right through a crosswalk. We also talked about lights there. We talked about additional signage, I believe. Janie had a great idea of putting little traffic signs that says, speed limit 20, this is what your speed is. There was another thing I noted yesterday morning is people are not doing 25 miles an hour. They may slow down when they see that sign that says 20 miles per hour, but they are not doing 25. And that's just my raw estimate of sitting there. We talked about how the school had changed some things and they have some traffic funneling. And if you go by there, you'll see those traffic concrete dividers that now create a little lane where people can go into the lane and they can drop off their kids. I also noted there weren't a lot of walkers on Thielsen. But the majority of the students that were walking were not on the sidewalk. They're across the street on the gravel. So one of the things we talked about was creating a definite crosswalk, maybe lighted, whatever, so that kids that are coming out of Bridge and Buckley can walk and get across to the sidewalk safely. I saw one little guy who was using the sidewalk and that was it. Did I forget anything, Janie?
Yeah, I think that's a good summary of what, so.
Oh, and we also talked about putting lights or putting some more defined traffic signage, school zone signage coming or by the ditch. Yeah, so that
on Jerome.
Yeah, if you look, when you drive by there, this sign is kind of, it's on the right side of the road and it's a little bit hidden by trees. It's not bad, but it's really kind of a blind corner. And I think we need to have something before that that starts to indicate that this is a school zone. So, but it was fun yesterday watching everybody. It was fun watching them with my little pad and then look at them and they would slow down.
Gets you a radar gun. You have anything else for Phyllis? Phyllis, I think you did a good job summarizing. No decisions or any direction has been set in stone yet, but good discussions.
Just so everybody knows, I'm probably gonna go back and do it a couple more times so that I get a better count. And I'm gonna try to go in the afternoon to see if there's any big difference in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, sports.
Yeah. So if you see me, I'm not lurking, I'm not being a stalker, I'm just not doing.
I do know on the way here, I had to stop for kids that, and parents that crossed the road where there was no crosswalk. They came right out the gate and straight across the road. So,
On the, behind where all those cars parked by the field, not on this other side of the crosswalk.
Right.
Where the sidewalk is, they were on that side. walking.
and we did talk about human nature and how they're pretty much gonna walk where they want regardless of what you put there, so.
One other thing I noted was watching people is trying to figure out who was local and who wasn't local. And some of that was it was somewhat easy, but I was amazed because as I was sitting there, I saw people from a block and a half away, put kids in their car, drive down the street, make a left-hand turn and go and drop their kids off 2 blocks down the street. And so it's interesting to me as to why are they doing that? It wasn't like they were doing it because it was, nearly 8 o'clock. This was maybe at 7:35 or 7:40. So why are local people driving their kids to school?
Janie?
This today, I remember we were discussing the fence along the railroad tracks.
Oh, we did
Remember,
discuss.
Yeah, that was when the path project, when that project goes, yeah.
And that would be the,
Yeah, going south especially, coming off of Kennedy and everything down in there, beyond the bus barn.
We did talk about that a little bit, didn't we?
We did.
The ODOT money that we have that we're trying to use for the bridge, which the legislatures don't feel the kids' safety crossing the track is an important issue, so they ignore it. That's my opinion, but yes. So the 2.5 million that ODOT has for us, maybe Dave can get into this in his administrative report, be a better spot, but we did discuss some fencing and new crossing, new sidewalk type stuff over the railroad tracks, using that ODOT grant money, so that was also in that committee meeting, so. All right, anything else on the traffic safety committee? Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Oh, one more thing. Did you guys decide on a date for the next meeting? Or are you gonna email us?
We'll send it out the 29th, if it's a Monday or Tuesday, nobody sent me back any information yet. So 28th and 29th, I have it on both, so.
Yeah, it depended on Phyllis and Raymond.
And Raymond.
I think we kind of decided on Tuesday, but then Monday. Well, since you're sitting here, yes.
I will send out a new email later in the week to the committee.
Yeah.
And force everybody to send me a text back, so.
Yeah, I
can
think
always
Raymond was
call
gonna
him.
check the JP schedule. So I'll give you the dates.
No worries.
We'll
Phyllis
put it
told me,
out.
but I didn't write.
Okay.
I'll email you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well then, if there's nothing else on that, then we will move on to Jesselyn Cole with a path update for us. Welcome, Jesselyn.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. So in your packet should be the fourth quarter report from Project Path. So I was just going to share some highlights that are in that and then answer any questions that you might have. We continue to have good staff. Actually been working through some kinks to really make sure we're most efficiently utilizing our staff. So some have different strengths and making sure that they're working towards those strengths. We have one that's very tech savvy and he's created some really cool apps for like check-in and our inventory. And so utilizing him in that way has been good for us. Phoenix continues to be a good contract with the security, really lessens our calls for any law enforcement problems. We had 0 calls. I just finished, we have a Stepping Stones board meeting tomorrow. So I just finished reports for August and we had 0 law enforcement calls from our site. So that's always positive. We continue to see donations coming in from individuals, from organizations. We are working diligently on our gala, which is on October 11th, and working on some fun, both silent and live auction opportunities for that. And I'll leave this with Dave so that can be hung up, please. Getting more sponsors for that. And then, like I said, working on the auction items. That will be a fun event. Tickets are available. So if you want to buy 1 or 2 or a whole table of 8, that would be great. Social media continues to be steady. We did just have our movie showing of No Address, which was a Hollywood movie about homelessness in the country. And we worked with AWS and the Hermiston Theater to show that. We actually had to get 2 theaters because we had such a good outpouring of people wanting to see it. So we did have over 200 people attend that. And Amazon also let us use their marketing person. And so our social media was well provided for with some reels and just new information. And again, just educating community that there is a homeless population here and we are proactively trying to help those people. So that went well. We have had some recent successes, getting people to reach out to estranged family and reconnect and have positive outcomes from that. We've had people move on to permanent housing situations. And again, back to estranged families move back into the area where their families are. The most recent grant we just got was actually from Wild Horse to finish. So in the report, it's a pending application. We did get half of that granted to us, over $15,000 to finish the awning on the Sleep Center, which is making a big difference in all weather for all of our guests that are waiting in the evening. Projects have been moving forward. Guest numbers have been up. We're hitting over 400 a month. In recent weeks, we've hit up to 25, 26, which is our bunk limit, but we can bring in cots if we need to. We haven't had to, but we have been seeing some higher numbers. I think some of all that's going on in Pendleton has affected our numbers, but not long-term. So we've had a lot of new guests come and stay a night, realize they don't want to be in Hermiston and their ties are in Pendleton and they go back to Pendleton.
Why is that? Just
I don't know what's
going on in
the
Pendleton.
data that we've been doing.
Oh, okay. So Pendleton has I would say, fairly new group of downtown business owners that have formed a committee that is Neighbors for a Better Pendleton.
something like that.
Yeah, and very much against providing services for homeless in the downtown is how they're wording it. But it's coming across that they don't want services for homeless at all. And so are really pushing back on CAFCO and Salvation Army and what is being done and what isn't being done, trying to criminalize not the homelessness, but find anything and everything that the homeless are doing wrong or could be interpreted as doing wrong and, I would say targeting. And it's reaching out further than penalty. So I've gotten calls from a lawyer, from, committee members, and then from community members. So seeing all sides, trying to figure out what they can do collectively, both proactively and not so proactively. I mean, some are just saying, get a bus and ship them to Stepping Stones because Stepping Stones seems to be working well. That's not an answer. So trying to work with everyone involved to share what we are doing. I've invited them to come for tours, and act as a resource, but also asking them to get everyone that's already there at the table. So Capco and Neighbor to Neighbor is their warming station, and make sure that they're in the conversation. So I think we've seen some,
Do they
Yes.
still utilize Promise In?
yes, so that's Capco.
That's Capco.
Yes,
okay.
Capco runs Promise. Yes.
So the people don't want to stay at the Promise Inn or the warming station because they feel kind of targeted by this group? Is that the problem? Because they still have facilities
They do.
there.
So the warming station is only 100 nights out of the year. So it's much like Stepping Stone started
Sure.
long ago. And Promise Inn is a different model in that they can only stay 90 days and then they've timed out of the program. So then they're essentially homeless again. And they have very strict curfew and can't leave all of their stuff. Like it's just a completely different model. They also don't have enough beds for the population.
Sure. That's a problem anymore.
Mhm.
Thank you for answering that. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Did you have anything else to add?
No, you nailed it right on the head. I couldn't have said it any better. You do it every day and we would talk about it in meetings.
I mean, when we first started this, we were kind of afraid that that would happen. Like, people, word would get out that Hermiston's got the cool stuff, head there. Because it does travel. So hopefully it's not a, like you say, hopefully it's the short-term thing.
And then just lots of pictures of what we have going on, the planters and community gardens with the Change-X funds from Amazon. The Schnitzer Cares grants that paid for new washers and dryers. We are still, Dave, you might want to talk about the CDBG grant with the county. I don't
That's
know.
kind of
if
more
there's-
David Byron's realm on that one, with
Okay.
for the utilities,
No,
the
no,
showers.
yeah, no, the one that still, no bids came in, so.
Oh, that one. So no bids came in and
the
so
second time.
second time for the project. And so which project is it? There's like 10 of them.
The navigation center, suppression system and sprinklers,
system.
and then the outdoor.
So when you go out to bid multiple times, doing all the processes, follow all the rules, and nobody bids it, then you can go out and secure a company to come in and do it with just going out single sourcing it. Once you have followed the state's procurement laws, and she's done that twice over, which is more than you're supposed to, but we felt it was a wise idea to do that. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that. Sorry. And so we've instructed Jeslyn, once that comes in, then go forth and get us a vendor and get it done. And so she'll just have to go through that process. And I don't know why they won't bid it. They're here, they're just not bidding. So I don't know.
So more money than,
Or they're just way busy and don't want to commit.
that's what.
So we will be proceeding with that, hopefully before the weather gets too awful. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Like, most of my time right now is on the gala. So, any question?
Just financial questions. We got the original grant to get this going and that had operation funds in it for a while. How has the money been coming in? Is it enough to sustain so we don't have to dig into that other money and make it last longer, or how's that all working?
So all of that original money is gone. This last year, we were working on a grant through the state that was for shelter operations. And it was a reimbursement basis, and that ended in June. I just got an email yesterday from CAPCO that they have the contract from the state because those funds are supposed to continue, but it wasn't put in place by June 30th. So right now we're utilizing our funds that we have in our own account to float us until the reimbursement funds are available through. So it's through the state, but it's funneled through CAPCO.
Right.
And then,
To be clear, we didn't want.
you know,
We didn't want a sole source because there's a whole lot of politics involved there. And ours is a much smoother operation, much cleaner and much more transparent operation. And so it's been a challenge. Did she give you any idea what a timeline is? Because this is the first I've heard of this.
no, so I just got an email yesterday that they just received contract from the state.
Okay.
And so now they'll work on what that contract looks like between CAPCO and us.
All right.
Yeah,
Keep
so
us in
just
that
yes.
loop on that one because I'm nervous about how that's going to.
Yes, and I don't have an amount yet either.
Okay.
So it was very preliminary, but that's the first I've heard from them in a while, and it's September, so,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, but thank you.
yeah. So, and then we continue to do our fundraising and getting donations and grants and everything we can.
Right, hopefully that state money doesn't dry up, but you never know.
She put $42 billion into human resource programs in the state, so I don't think it will. It's just a matter of how it gets funneled.
Yeah, it's one of her agenda items, but you never
Yes.
know what the next
Talking
government.
about the governor, not
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, yeah, the governor.
So,
I always like to look ahead in the future. One of these days we may get a governor that's not so into this
But
issue.
anyway, that's where we're at. So that's funding wise, we were all hopeful, but when we came out of the legislative session with nothing to know, they had a funding package that they'd approved. But we didn't see any rules, we didn't see anything, and then we got told CAPCO was gonna run it, and that was something we kind of protested. And so,
Right, I remember those talks.
yeah, so we're here, so at least we hopefully won't have to dip into our city budgets to pay our part of the deal, so. Jesselyn's doing a good job, by the way, and her
Yeah,
team,
it sounds good.
they're doing a really good job. I know there's a lot of skepticism and a lot of back and forth, and we all have our personal feelings about homeless one way or the other on either side of the street. But this lady right here is taking on a lot of risk because she doesn't know from one day to the next on the money, and she's done a really good job. I'm always impressed when she comes to our monthly meetings and I got this grant, I got this donation, I got that. I mean, she's a magnet for it. So she's the right person for the job. So thank you for that.
Well, and she's not the only one that has to wait on the state or some middleman for money, so, yeah. Not that that makes you feel any better, but. All right, anything else for?
It's probably in the packet that I don't have in front of me. How much are the tickets individually?
$50.
And then what's the table for 8? Is it just 400? Okay.
It's from 6 to 10 on Saturday, October 11th. At Eva.
We'll put it on our webpage. We'll put it out to, I'll have Amanda do that on Thursday.
Yeah,
And there'll be a
drive by.
sign off. We'll get that up there. We'll get the gala stuff out. Thanks, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, old business. Looks like we have a
I did
discussion about the heritage tree, which
what you instructed me to do.
we discussed last meeting, and it's damage that it's doing, so.
I do want to note that on page 2 of the ordinance, or the resolution from 2010 that I gave you, I highlighted it. It says the tree shall not be removed, trimmed, or without approval of city council. So Scott and I were in the, absolute, without reading that before, Scott and I were in the right on making sure that we went to you guys for this and not taking it on ourselves. 'Cause
Yeah.
technically, we didn't have authority to do it anyway, which we didn't realize, but
Well,
now we do. So,
Very wise.
so. But if you go through what Diane did, she did a very good job on this. I mean, she was always elaborate and very thorough with her historical projects. I think, to be honest, I don't know why we need to reinvent the wheel. Why can't we do something similar to this with a new tree. There's been a proposal. Would you help me with this one, Janie, on the cutting of the checking chunks? You have something Diane proposed, would you?
Yes, Diane called me about that. She was thinking that maybe that particular tree, because it's like 1 or 2 inch slabs. And maybe, use them as, markers, maybe so the county could buy a slab or something and put them here or there. I'm not sure what to do with it. But as a historical, something, use the tree for some kind of.
It's a lot of trees, so I would
Yeah.
think that Roman would do that for a limited amount if we do that at all. I'll talk to Scott about that, because I hadn't talked to him about it, because I wanted to see if we want to talk about it tonight.
So you can save a chunk of the tree.
And then we could-
Maybe a 3-foot section or 6-foot
Yeah.
section, whatever.
And then we can cut it up later.
And cut it up there. Sorry, what's that, Tracy?
Give it to Rich over there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could make a bench. Put it down, heritage tree bench, right? I mean, that. So I don't know where you put a plaque or marker, since you put it down at Fort Henry Park or something like that.
Something to do with it.
Well, it could be used if you guys dedicate a new tree, which I presume you're going to do at some point, however you decide to do that. This is a good template. I don't know why we wouldn't just follow something like this instead of reinvent the wheel.
No, I agree.
And if you guys decide to do that next spring or something like that, then you can, do it however you like, and maybe take one of those and put a statement on there, a proclamation, and laminate, put the clear coat on there so it permanently seals it or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking outside the box, but that might satisfy that comment, which is warranted. She put she did a lot of work on this. And then also gets us out of root jail over here with the whole making a mess out of that building and sidewalk. So might kill 2 birds, 1 stone.
So is there any other linden trees around that are older ones that could,
I'm sure there are.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you would know better. You're out looking at them probably more than I am, but, we could identify, like you say, identify another tree and put that same plaque back on it, just rededicate. So that it's still associated with the tree, or come up with a new heritage tree and make a heritage bench or a heritage plaque or something out of that old tree. And there you go.
Would you do that, Counselor Enright, talks to her where she has another one around town? I mean, we see them, but she probably has it in her computer. Yeah. Preferably not one making, that's the next one on our target for new damage, so. Ask her to give you a copy. Yeah. Okay. So does that satisfy what you guys asked me to do? Cause I
No,
was it was kind of broad.
I thought it was great seeing it. I actually read it, the whole thing.
Yeah, I did too.
It gives good, like you said, it gives good information, it gives good background. And when we get another tree, we should follow the same thing and just add it in as an amendment to this one.
Yeah, or, update it, but yeah.
Update it, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
It might be something you do in the spring, so it'll be somebody else doing it, but at least they have a template to them.
Sure. We just gotta locate one somewhere. Janie, you got a job. All right. Anything else on that, guys? A good plan? All right, awesome. Very well.
I will say, I did like the presentation you added to the packet about the tree. I think that was very interesting.
Oh, that's all Diane.
Very informative. It was
All Diane.
like walking through history.
Okay, so moving on to new business. Dave and I have been kind of kicking this around for a little bit since Stanfield brought it up. I've been kicking around in my head for years. It's been held together.
I have some information for you when you're ready.
But cluster mailboxes, along current routes. So Stanfield has some sort of a program like this that seems to be working, and perhaps we could have the same. So I'll turn it over to Dave and give us some particulars.
So Scott Scott is always quick on the draw to get things done for me, and he got me the box busters. So I met with our postmaster, which is for Echo and Stanfield. I met with her today, actually. So we talked. This request for the council to have it this came through Councilor Williams from the Barthels. And so that's this part of town, down this section of town. So what I did learn, so I want to kind of set the stage here a little bit. We all know the Postal Service has all kinds of funky things. And so the Postal Service route that has this part of town going out of, I mean, it's all going this direction, going west and kind of these directions. The two route people that are in town, one is a a Postal Service employee, but the one that does this section that would do this, if we put it on this side of town, on this side of the tracks, literally, is a contract employee. And it's totally different. So she explained to me is if the council decides to move forward with this, she's not opposed to it at all. We'd have to find a location. If you guys want to buy it, you have the prices. These are the approved ones that she likes. And we have to know this, have to have so many houses, comes with so many parcel boxes on it. You can't just buy all the mailboxes. There has to be parcel boxes as part of the unit. Stanfield bought them, spent $10,000 and bought their units. And the city of Echo would need, I didn't put it in the budget to go do that. The only construction that's in our actual budget is to remodel the clerk's office downstairs. So I didn't actually budget for that kind of purchase. It could be probably got on maybe a grant of some sort if you guys decide you want to go that direction, if the city wants to buy them. And Scott and team with theirs over in Stanfield, based on what they spent, their payback to make themselves whole was $230 a box, right, to sell. So there was a one-time fee of selling it to the patron to that address, but it goes with that address. It doesn't go from place to place to place and get resold like a Ponzi scheme. I mean, it's like it goes with that house. So that's where it goes from there on. So she's not opposed to it. She'd want to be obviously involved in it. And then if we decide to do it, she has to go above her to get somebody that's in contracting to renegotiate the contract with this route deliver person before we could move forward with actually spending the money. Because if they deliver the mail, then there's no point in buying it. And so the contract is up. So it's a contract negotiation. She says it's really funky. It's a real pain. But that's for this section. No, it's this whole section this way. It's not one section.
Well,
it's everything this way.
There's two sections.
Right. Everything
So
to the
section
east.
She can approve. The other section.
Right. So everything on the other side, east of the tracks, she can approve easily. Everything west of the tracks pretty much is this contract employee. Because we have two routes. Echo has two routes.
So lots of questions. And Dave and I have talked about this a bit, just kicking around thoughts of cost and who's gonna pony up the costs and all those things. So when Stanfield buys the box, the city buys the box, Public Works installs it, and they sell the individual lockers for $230 a piece, because that's what it takes to reimburse the cost of the box or the box and the labor materials to install.
We didn't build out the labor and stuff on it. It really wasn't. The installing them. We didn't do that. I just took the price of the boxes, because you had to have one parcel box per 9 mailboxes.
Correct.
Yeah. And so we ended up having to purchase a whole parcel box. You only get like 3 of them. We didn't meet. And so installing it wasn't a big deal. We just went ahead and did it. And but biggest issue that we've had so far is we put those in like middle of March, 1st April, somewhere around there. They're still not in use yet. They've been waiting on the Postal Service to get the locks.
I don't think we at the time, it was that temporary or the gal that should actually be with Stanfield.
Well, they did a full, in June, they did a reevaluation of routes. So we picked the worst time, she said, to install. because then they have to wait for their routes to get all done. And, so, like I said, they've been sitting there and they said that they'd have them ready to go in July. And then it was June and then July and then August, and we're still waiting on the maintenance guy that's for the area to install the locks. Cause it comes, each mailbox comes with its own keys. We had all the keys. They have to install the locks on the parcel boxes. Right on the back side. Or they're on the front. But, they have to get the key that opens, there's a certain key that opens the whole front to let your mail in. And so then they were waiting for keys. We're still waiting to get the other locks, but they said they have the lock. We've been waiting, 3 weeks now for someone to come put it in.
Right, they're certified in August.
Iowa. It's a Folsom. And, so I've been a lot of people are frustrated because this thing's been just sitting there and we haven't been able to sell a box, get anybody back, you know?
So that
Haven't
leads
been
me,
able to get
so
it
that
back.
leads me to my next thing, is what would be wrong with a neighborhood, let's say Smith Drive, golf course. Let's just use that.
Everybody go together and buy them.
Everybody go together and say, hey, we want a box. And Dave could buy it, you could install it, but we just reimburse Dave back for it, instead of him having to go through all the work of trying to sell the individual boxes. Because if you got 17, let's say it's 15 individual little boxes, right? And the city buys that and installs it, then the city's out all that money. And then you just hurry up and wait for people to purchase boxes. And if you only sell 5 of those boxes, then you're sitting on 2/3 of a box that you may never get recuperated.
With the price of what it costs to renew a post office box.
I get that, but I'm kind of devil's advocate, worst case scenario. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. But it potentially could be better if you had a whole neighborhood come together and say, hey, we've got 12 people that wanna get this right now. And you say, okay, well, we can buy a 15 box and it costs this much money, your 12 people wanna pay that, then we'll go install it. Then you got room for.
So there's another step that you miss here, that you can do all by yourself. If you all wanna go do it yourself, you go to the postmaster, you go get it done, you go buy the box, you go pay some contractor to put it in at the standard where it's agreed on the route, and then leave the city completely out of it. Because the postmaster talked to me before, when we had a problem over here on Fieldson on the corner down there, there was a big mailbox drama scene that went on. Somebody put their mailbox right in the middle of somebody else's driveway, and it was just a cluster. So she met us down there, myself and the property owners. And she's like, well, you boys can just go buy your own and put it right here at this height or this deal and pay for it yourself. And this is where my staff can pull off safely, She laid it all out. So there is another option. You don't have to wait on the city to do anything, but you have to work 100% with the postmaster and your checkbook.
Correct. Which may be a better option. Now that brings up a third issue. I mean, here we go, right? And not that it can't work. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for this. But you gotta find a place to put it that's approved by the postmaster. And if that place is on public or private property. Or
Can't be on private property, it has to be in the easement.
So, but it'd be in the easement, but if it's in front of their house, they could complain about it, box being. in front of
Correct.
their house.
So it's best to ask the homeowner, you're gonna do that, or better yet, put it on a spot where it's not gonna be an issue and the homeowner still has to. It's, like on the corner over there on Filson, there's a spot where it's a bush, a lilac bush or something. And that's where she suggested, cut that back, set it right there. My staff can pull, my courier can pull in there. Her whole thing over there was traffic and safety. Because when she comes through with that specific route on that specific corner is almost right in the middle of school unload or pickup time. So it's bad timing. So that's why she suggested that move it away and out of the thing. That's why that house on the corner that's right there at the school in Jerome where I put the stop sign, right there, they have, if you stop and go there, you'll see that they cut their yard out and they put a little turn in there now. And that's where he put his mailbox. That was because she said that was the only way she'd let him have a mailbox. Was that he had to cut his yard out and make a pullout for her staff to get completely off the road. So that was the postmaster's decision on that. And the homeowner said, yeah, heck yeah, and he went and did it the next week. So again, the city doesn't have to do it. What the Sandfield did was awful mobile and awesome. It's just they're getting run around the rosies with the government, so, or with the post office, so.
So last thing is if the city stayed out of purchasing the boxes, just like private individuals do it, would Public Works be willing to install them for the citizens? Or is that something?
I
we
would
don't
stay
want?
out of that. That's a liability thing. I would not recommend that. Let's just go around because you're saying now you're private contractors. So absolutely, I would say heck no. That's not a good
So
idea.
either
That's a
have the city-
kind thing, but no.
Either have the city do all of it?
All of it or none of it.
So if the individuals are to buy them, do they have to look like the ones that?
These are the approved ones I gave you. There's other, you can't, no, you have to get an approved, the US Postal, it doesn't have to be from this company that Scott sent me,
No,
but it has to be approved.
It's just like your mailbox has to be US Postal Service. You can't really fix it.
Probably better than that.
yeah.
So
It sounds ridiculous.
they have to be the right height, they have to meet certain codes, blah, blah, blah.
They sell them down there too.
Where are you coming from? Mailboxes?
I was just watching them painting. The guy was doing a great job.
So is that all you got on that, Mr. Mayor?
Well, that's the only questions I have. I don't know if this council wants to deliberate more about whether the city should get involved in this or not. I mean, I personally think you've got enough on your plate. I mean, it'd be a nice thing to have the city do all the work for everybody, but at some point, we run out of time with a limited staff of 2.5 people. You really,
I would be in
Yes.
favor of the city staying out.
The city's not against it though, right? So I can tell that to
Yeah.
citizens, I don't have the authority to say that, so I need to know that you have the authority that, you guys are saying. Well, it's a rural route, rural block, as a whole.
I'm all being mailboxes downtown.
So then we need to make sure that my understanding is, and I'm sure people can Google and correct me when I'm wrong, but the way the postmaster explains to me, they gotta go through her to do all that and then pony up the money and follow all the rules, make sure you don't piss off your neighbor and kind of go through that process.
I think that's probably the best.
So you have to put in a box for everybody in that.
Yes, you can't just do your own, you gotta do the whole group, it's all or nothing. They're kind of particular about that, so we learned.
Okay, this area here, you have to have enough, you know, even vacant lots, and, I mean, you have to have enough.
But I want to just get it all.
Yeah, I think the ones that we did, there was 46.
So that, we can put them on side streets and everything, or just?
You have to talk to her, no, I'm not gonna give you that, Janie, cause I can't. You have to go to the postmaster and she'll tell you where you can put them. What streets that you can do. I'm pretty sure DuPont you can, pretty sure Bonanza you partially you can. But I don't know about Dale, I don't know about Highstead, I don't know. Those you'd have to ask, my guess is it's gonna have to be in a cluster location that a whole group of homes are part of that, and every home and lot, like he said, would be in that section and would be for that area.
And what I've understood is it has to be on their current
Route. They're not gonna
They're
make
not
a route.
driving down that road now. They're not going to drive that on that road tomorrow.
Who owns that lot behind the front post office in that?
Where the weeds are, Councilor Williams does.
Oh, maybe we could convince her, we can have all.
Not the whole lot, just that whole, the alley strip, she owns that.
Oh.
But the rest of that lot belongs to the Mason.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is that, if folks want to do it, they can contact the postmaster in Stanfield, who's the one who oversees. it.
Yep.
So,
And she seems to be very amenable. I had a great conversation with her today. But she has all these rules to follow. So
yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, very well then. Then we'll move on to,
you forgot to add the,
I forgot to mention that.
but we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. The, number 12, the approval of the snow lease agreement.
Does everybody understand why we're stuck doing this silly thing?
No.
All right, so what happened when Kyle Snow bought that property down there, and then he negotiated with you in good faith to come up with the 3-phase subdivision and then the 2-acre park that you guys agreed on. And so then when he got in a big rush to sell the 7 acres to the school, he and Anderson and Perry, they took that thing down there, and then when we replatted it to get the 7 acres out of the subdivision, they took the plat down there and recorded it. So they recorded the park, the 2-acre park, and all the houses that were in that original subdivision proposal are now all individual tax lots. And so that's what the county has. And so when Mr. Hatley bought it from Mr. Madison, Jake Madison, I think is the one who bought it from Kyle, it was a whole bunch of selling and buying. I lost track. At the end of the day, Jim Hatley bought the property. And when he bought the property, he bought it with all those extra tax lots on it, including the park, which is where the shop is, where Kyle currently is running his business out of for the farm. And so they were gonna charge him like $2,000 a month to use that shop until they get the stuff done. And then his attorney and the surveyor said, you can't do that because technically it's the city's. Even though they bought it, it's gonna be turned over to the city because it's platted that way. And it's been recorded that way. So on the city tax rolls, that's not on a tax lot anymore. That 2 acres has been pulled out of the tax because it belongs technically to the city, even though we haven't technically given it to us yet. And so it made a big mess. They're going through the process right now, and I don't know when they're gonna show up to propose a whole kind of replatting the thing and getting the tax lot straightened around and everything. But in the meantime, Kyle wants to continue to work out of there. And so technically we had to come up with some sort of lease program. So I negotiated with Kyle that said, I think this is really dumb. I don't want to do this. And he's like, he was good with that. So they're this $500 a month. He's willing, it's basically a donation to the city to go into the community benefit fund to be used for whatever you guys want to use it for downtown, flowers, fixing benches, doing whatever. It's specifically for community type things. And that's what it's going to go into until this whole thing gets, eventually he has to get moved out of there anyway. So it's kind of a temporary thing, and that's why I ended up doing that. But we had to come up with some sort of legal document to allow him to stay there, because legally he can't stay there unless we have some sort of legal document. It's a real conundrum and a real oddity on land use.
No, it's the cities. He was talking about replatting
The house,
the house
so
residential lots. The 2-acre park that we negotiated with
that
Kyle,
stays.
that is the cities, and will always be the cities, unless the city were to sell it or something. But we designated
That was
it as a
dedicated.
park area, so it's gonna be a city park eventually, and we own it.
Yeah.
The county says it's city property, so it's ours. And Kyle still doing his business out of there because it's not ready to become a park, because the houses haven't moved in yet. But once those houses start moving in, and that will transition to a park. And
It could be a long time. Who
Could
knows?
be, who knows? No one knows.
Kyle wasn't in a big hurry to go, and he was very amenable to this contract. So I pretty much just kind of threw it at him. It's like, dude, what do you want to do? I drew up the contract, and so they were very good with that process. And that we're not just taking the money and putting it in something. It's actually going to go something actually to Echo itself. No, in the community benefit fund. This is where you guys pay for, programs and everything else. Yeah, so that's where in the what's it, fund, the community benefit fund, once right after the street fund, it's in the budget.
And this would be until, additions all in and.
It's until they decide he wants to get out of there, or Hatley and him and all of us. Well, I won't be here, but you guys decide you don't want to do it anymore. Or he finds a shop. He's kind of basically homeless in his farm shop world because he can't be over here. So, or isn't over there. I don't know. Can't is the right word, but I know he's not over there.
But we could allow him to stay there for quite some time. But at some point, the city council is gonna want to make it a park that's usable for the public. And at that point in time, then he's gonna have to leave.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I'm sure it'll be mutual, but yeah, we'll work out a deal and that, so. think.
Yeah, it took quite a bit of figuring because this is not a normal thing. It should have never been platted. It should have never gone and been recorded. That should have just only been the 7-acre partition and not the whole darn thing. So that's made the sale of the property very complicated. So the way that the realtors and the lawyers explained it to me, and again, we weren't in the middle of all that, right? That's a private sale. And then because it was platted, now they have, and the streets technically where the streets are proposed to be, technically they're dedicated to the city too, even though they don't exist.
So we think this will all be cleared up eventually, not get worse.
Yes,
It shouldn't get any worse.
it won't get any worse. And it's the cities, so that's not gonna change either. The use of it will change eventually. The use will become a city park.
It was dumped in my lap, Janie. I did the best I could with it. If somebody's got a better idea, I'm open.
No, it's a good thing for the town. I mean, we get $6,000 a year to use for the community. Flowers, prizes for National Night Out, or who knows what. Maybe down the road you could use it for some playground equipment or something like that for the park. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity that this money will give us to do some things down the road when it's time.
I just wanted Kyle to know that his money would go someplace that would be used in Echo, that was,
Yeah.
or be used not to pay the power bill. Cause that general fund and all the other funds are paying for wages and power bills and water bills and all those things, where this fund does not do that.
This includes the shop buildings and everything, the house and everything.
Not the house, just the shop.
It's a shop building.
House is a separate lot. That's between him and Hadley or whoever, but that's not the city.
Need a motion.
I'll move the approval of the snow lease agreement.
I'll second.
Okay. Richard made a motion to approve the snow lease agreement. Berlin has seconded. Maria, your vote?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Cheney?
Yes.
Berlin?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dave, for working on that too, by the way. It was kind of odd.
It was not a fun project.
And thanks to Kyle for being amiable to that as well, so. I forgot to mention earlier, but we do have something here that we needed to add to a late arrival. That we need to add to the agenda, and it is a letter from the city's lawyer, David Blanc. And Dave and I kind of knew this was coming because he warned us a couple of months ago when we met with him in his office. But I'll read the letter. Dear Dave, I'm writing regarding my representation of the city of Echo as its city attorney. Due to changes in my practice, I am forced to make the difficult decision to reduce the number of my clients. Under my present workload, I do not feel I can provide all clients with the attention and service each deserves, and at the level I wish to do so. I'm writing to provide the city of Echo notice that I'm terminating the agreement for city's attorney services effective October 31st, 2025. I've enjoyed working with you and the city council in regard to legal matters related to the city of Echo. I wish you, city staff, and city council the best. Sincerely, David N. Blanc. And so it sounded like what he told us is that he's getting out of the city representation altogether. So, so we had a fun task to find a new lawyer.
Did the same extent, or wasn't it? Saw in the paper that he resigned for that.
So anyway,
Have to vote to accept it.
oh, we have to vote to accept it. I
I'll make the motion to accept. I'll second.
So Jesse has made a motion to accept David Blanc's resignation as our city attorney. Janie has seconded. Berlin, your vote?
Yes.
Janie, your vote? Jesse, your vote?
Yes.
Richard, your vote?
Yes.
Maria, your vote?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. So now we get to look for a new one. Okay, for us. Okay, so, moving on to city administrator. Administrator, resignation / retirement letter. Dave?
I submitted it in writing, it's up to you guys. Thank you for the job and opportunity here, but I'm gonna move on for a lot of reasons. So I really appreciate the time here and I've learned a lot. I thought we've done a lot of good work. Unfortunately, it's ending on a very, very sour note and a lot of disrespect, but at the end, I think we've done some good work and a lot of stuff that people can't see, the sewer, the water, saved houses along the river, a lot of different things that I think will be last for a long time. So we can hold our heads high that we did those good things together and the community came together during those times. And I'm going to miss working with an incredible staff and these two Anyaks behind me that run their programs and just getting to know Tanya, going to miss her. But I know that the city will be in good order with this team that I'm leaving, and hopefully you find somebody that better fits what you guys need for the city than I've been able to this last year. So I'm hoping for the best for you guys. So.
Well, you have done a lot of good things for this city, Dave. You put your heart and soul into this city, and especially with the foundation of this city, the infrastructure, things that the city should be paying attention to that haven't always been paid attention to. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
And so it's been fun working with you. And like you say in your letter, holding legislators' feet to the fire like we did today again, so it continues. But the city of Echo, I don't think the residents really realize the behind the scenes fighting that you do for them. And one of these days, maybe they will realize that. I know I do, but it's going to be a huge loss. But good for you. So wish you well in the future.
You also have to.
So do
We also have to accept it.
We have a contract.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I will make a motion to approve Dave's resignation retirement letter.
I second it.
Okay, so Berlin has made a motion to approve Dave's resignation / retirement letter. Maria has seconded. Jesse, your vote.
Yes.
Maria, your vote.
Yes.
Janie, your vote.
Yes.
Richard, your vote.
I go yes, with regrets that I really fear the future. Trying to find somebody to replace Dave. It's going to be hard.
Yes. Thanks. Berlin, your vote.
Yes.
Well, I vote no. Motion carries unanimously. So now we need to, since we're on that subject, we need to kind of talk about finding somebody else, because I will promise you to find somebody that, like Richard said, that knows half of what Dave knows for this small of city at this pay is gonna take a miracle. It was difficult when we found Dave. Thank the good Lord that we found him when we did. But there are a lot of city administrator jobs out there. I think LeGrand just had one open up last week. And
Retiring too.
I would hate to see the listserv out there on how many city administrator jobs are across the state right now, but it does take a special skill set, especially as complicated as the things that Dave's dealing with. I know on our phone call with ODOT today, stuff was flying over my head. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've got to have somebody explain this stuff to me, traffic stuff. They're throwing out formulas and numbers, and Dave's getting it. And he's scratching down notes. Okay, Chandler, this is what this means. Because I'm like, wow. take sewer and water's complicated. Have a meeting with ODOT. So I don't know, we're gonna need to post that job here probably sooner than later.
If that's what you want me to do, I'll do that. How would you like me to proceed? Do you wanna, there's 100 different ways it can be done. Do you wanna do it the traditional old fashioned way with the current modern technology of using some of the hiring platforms? A lot of cities, this small generally don't, but do hire their own. I know people do it internally. Stanfield did it internally. Some go out to hiring agencies that only hire for municipal and county governments, but they're very expensive. I think the cheapest one, I think it's 13, 15 grand, I think, just for that. It's a lot of money. But it will take a lot of recruitment. So I just kind of need what you want me to do and what platforms you would like it to be on. And I'm assuming that you want me to put together kind of a template and then send it all out to you to review, because this is your decision, not mine. So if that's what you want, I could probably get something together first of the week. If that's what you guys want, that's not too hard to do. I mean, luckily I keep everything digital, so I can probably put something together fairly quickly, but I don't know if it's what you want. I don't know how you want to advertise it. I don't know how you want to recruit for it. There's a lot of ways to do it, but
Yeah.
ultimately I'm not going to be doing it. Ultimately I'll put it out there, but it's you guys as the council that need to be doing it or should be doing it unless you order me differently.
Well, we've got to get it out there. We've got 3 months. And if somebody's, I hope it'd be nice to find somebody locally, I think, that would have the qualifications. Say after move in, maybe. Never know, if somebody's got to relocate, that's gonna take time. They're gonna have to give notice to their current job. We got 90 days basically to find somebody.
I had 45 in my contract. I gave you a little more time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little more than 90, but we would want them to spend a little time with you if at all possible to at least know where stuff is. There's a lot of old stuff in the safe and things, that files and whatnot. So yeah, probably get it out there on Facebook, I guess, and Indeed. I don't know, some of those platforms would be a good place to start and see what we get.
Yeah,
League of Organizations.
LLC does cost a little bit, but their fee's nominal. It's not a very big fee. It's a few $100, I think, and they charged you. I think it used to be 100, now it's 200 or something. It's not very much.
The downside with Indeed is you get a lot of riffraff. So, I mean, but I don't know how many city administrators are
I don't know.
looking at that or not.
When I applied for the city of Umatilla, I found it on one of those platforms.
And
I was in the group before Dave got picked over there.
And do we still have a list of qualifications?
Yeah, I have all that. I can send all that out to you like tomorrow to the whole council. So be looking for that in your email tomorrow, the next day. So you can look at it and individually to keep the meetings, laws from being violated, send me back your ideas and I'll send out the final product that everybody gives me their ideas. So everybody sees everybody's, but it comes from one location. So you guys don't get in trouble for violation of meeting laws. And we can get that out. So be looking for that. I know Wednesdays are busy days for you, Janie, but try to be looking for that and see if we can get that out.
Okay, we probably want to do.
I won't be here on Friday, I can tell you that. So it needs to be the next 2 days and then part of Monday. So I want to make sure and not shirk the city. So I want to do my job to get it out. So
I would probably want to do interviews next month sometime if we have applicants.
I don't think I would be awful fast. I'd agree, probably late October.
Yeah, well, I was thinking latter half of October, beginning.
They just went through it. So.
Okay.
But anyway, so,
Okay.
I mean, I know some places have been out open a year longer.
Well, let's get the process started and see where we go and see what happens the next couple weeks. The next few weeks, I guess.
Okay. On my short to-do list then.
That everybody agreeable to that?
Yes.
All right, well, let's move on to something more positive maybe. Administrative report, you're still up, Dave.
Financials are somewhere in front of you. I emailed them all to you.
They've made it
Any,
around.
any questions about the financials at all? Yes, no?
Oh, sorry, she's showing me.
Okay. So if you look at your calendars, you're gonna find that Veterans Day is November 11th. It's a Tuesday this year and it happens to be our council night. I'd strongly encourage us not to do it that night, plus I'm not gonna be here. So, the 4th is election day, which is a Tuesday before. Then there's the 18th, which is a Tuesday after. And I double checked on Google today to make sure I had the right month, or right week for Thanksgiving, and it's the 27th, so it's later. So, well, the year's all messed up on the days. Totally messed up. It completely discombobulated me about being what day for Veterans Day. So, I'd like to see if we can get the council meeting officially moved to the 18th, which is a Tuesday. So for the regular council in November, because I don't see any other day that would work. I would presume you don't want to do it the week of Thanksgiving. I don't think that would be probably popular with too many people.
I'm okay with it.
So we'll post that we'll get that out there if that's what you want.
Which? Hang on.
Road man, November.
November.
Calendar stops. What was that, Dave?
That's the council too. I know Councilor Williams isn't here. We need to get a message to her about that, but
Must adjourn the planning day anyway, and the work day.
the work session would be the 25th. You'll see how the Tuesdays fall that month. The 4th is the 1st, 11th, 18th, and 25th. We've had a lot of months where there've been 5 Tuesdays, so. Does that work with you, Councilor, right?
Sure.
Okay,
So the 25th, that'll be the work session.
if we have one, I mean, I don't know if you guys are gonna have one, but
I doubt we'd have one being Thanksgiving week.
so the 18th will be the council meeting then.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll make sure that it's out to the public.
Very good. Okay.
So then I had staff calendar. I'll email it out, but you guys, a lot of you like paper. The girls are on me like flies. Do not screw up upstairs for all of our meetings. This is also for the hearings and when and if they continue after next Monday. For the upstairs, you specifically only put what's upstairs going on for in here. So everybody is aware of that. So that we're not scheduling meetings on stuff that they've already put out for events and activities. So just to make sure you have this. And I know the girls put it on Facebook and do a lot of different things, but I want to make sure that the council has that for any meetings or anything that you guys choose to do. You said during the meeting today, there's 2 things. Do you want me to talk about the meeting that we had today, or do you want me to wait until more information? And you also said earlier tonight that in the meeting that you wanted me to talk about the pedestrian crossing. Is that still something you want me to talk about? Because I didn't have it on my list. I wrote it down when you said it.
You could give us a quick update on the pedestrian crossing, the meeting with ODOT today? Is that what you're talking about?
That's the other meeting.
What other meeting did we have?
I had a meeting with this, no, pedestrian. I have multiple meetings, lots of meetings.
Okay, the only meeting that I'm aware of that should be talked about that has any relevance right now
Is it crossing?
is the crossing.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
Okay,
So just to recap, we've been trying to get pedestrian crossing money for a long time. For over here, coming off of Buckley, going over to the school where we have the dilapidated crosswalk in the school, and it's in the school zone. So a few years ago, Dan Dorn, Commissioner Dorn, and ODOT, and myself, and Representative Levy, and Chad, Mr. Mayor there, were able to secure with Safe School Route money, $2.4 million for a crossing. And then we've been trying to get more money to do some bigger construction. Well, that's just not going to happen in today's climate. The money is still sitting in there, and with the transportation package in Salem, going through all the politics that I'm sure many of you have watched or hearing or whatever. They were worried they were gonna lose the money and get it taken. And so they came back to me and said, hey, can we just come in and make a new sidewalk? It's a, multi-use sidewalk, new bells and whistles and all really brand new sidewalk all the way across, redo that over there on this side to get it across. It doesn't resolve the problem when a train parks there and blocks it and kids crawl underneath it, which is what we were trying to prevent. But what it does do is it gives a big opening and modernizes the sidewalk because it's inside the school zone. And then it would send a fence to the south and along there. So when you get on it, you couldn't go around it to the south. And then I negotiated with them not to go very far to the north, so we don't divide the town in half with a fence. I think that would be very negative for the community. So just, a little ways to push it so kids are kind of funneled through there on a big brand new concrete sidewalk that'll take them over there and they'll build it, design. Well, they've already got it designed, so just going through the whole steps and going through the whole ODOT, spend lots of money steps. So probably in the next year or two, they'll build it, would be my guess, with the city. So won't cost the city anything. So it's just, it's a grant through their process. So that's kind of an update on that. They were afraid they were going to lose it, and they probably were. It's been sitting in there for 2 bienniums. So it's been there for quite a while. They've held on to it. So I've actually gone through different project engineers on that one just because they've come and they've gone, they've come and they've gone. So, but anyway, that's kind of an update on that. Really no effect on anything here in town. I mean, it would be really nice when really nice and a lot safer, at least cleaner and less broken up and bike path. You can take your carts across there a lot better, all that kind of stuff. And it'll still look small townish because it won't have a pedestrian crossing. I know there was people that were mad about that, so that isn't gonna happen. So, I mean, a bridge, that's not gonna happen. So. And that was all I had, the dates. You gave me my running instructions on how you want to handle the recruitment, or at least the paper part of it. And the staff calendar, the girls made sure to put in my hands today. So that's all I have today.
Anything else for Dave?
I appreciate them doing the calendar and Med is doing a really good job at keeping the sign up to date.
Yep.
So tell her good job.
And, she did, yes. And we are getting stuff posted on the website, master plans. I think they're stuck on the master plans for water, sewer, and water conservation plans that you guys have all updated and was paid for with grants. It should be on the planning page right now but we're gonna have Town Web, the host of our website, make a new spot on that government tab and put plans, not planning, but plans. And so all of those documents are getting on there. There's 3 or 4 of them on there now. There'll be more on there. Well, there's not more of them, but they'll have its own spot. And so they'll be on there for people to see. Yeah, well, it's a lot of read. I mean, there are hundreds of pages each. You guys were all given 3-ring binders of all of them. So you all have them.
Yeah, the 3 of these were those.
So yeah, we'll get that done. And Maria, we could probably print those because I don't have any more binders because I never got them back from Mr. Yoder. So I can print them for you. And it'd be lots and lots of reading, but it just gives you the master plans for the water, sewer, and the conservation plans that we got in the last few years.
Well, then you guys should talk to Gail, maybe she has them up there.
She might. Thanks.
We have a great friend.
Another job.
Yeah, and maybe she did, and I don't. They were in a box. I'll have to look. I'll double check in my office. Come to think of it, that's all I've got.
Okay.
Times 2.
All right, very well then. We'll move on to our final public comment period. Every time we invite public comment on just open anything. Yes, Phyllis.
Doctor, say go ahead again.
I think once is enough. That's fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, I don't know, maybe somebody forgot, so
Well, Phyllis Shanowski, 22 Business.
thank you.
I wanted to ask if perhaps in the future, we could, to that traffic and safety plan, add some traffic and safety audits, or whatever you can call it, to Main Street. Since I live on Main Street, I'm constantly aware of the people that speed. I'm constantly aware of the people that never slow down to 25 miles an hour unless they're following me, 1 through 10. I'm constantly aware of late at night, young people out there squealing, laying rubber and speeding. And
Oh, that's
Same thing.
sorry, that's okay.
Go ahead.
I just think that Main Street is an issue. It's bad enough that we have 18-wheelers going through town all the time, but it's really bad when they're not even doing the speed limit. So the police department has a lot going on, but I think again, Jeannie's, this is the speed, this is how fast you're going, those kind of things might really help. I've turned out of the church and I'm doing 20 or 25 miles an hour and people come up and they're just not happy that I am not doing over 25 miles an hour. So it's kind of an issue, and I hope that we can extend that in that traffic and safety thing. The homeless issue and what Jocelyn and those people are doing is really, really good. And I wish that people understood the good that they are doing. And not every homeless person is a druggie. And not every homeless person is some derelict. She's got some great success stories that young families that suddenly the rent doubles and they have no place to go. And so I think that I really think it's great that the city is supporting that. What a loss. And I don't mean to get emotional, but Dave's done a really good job, and you guys with him have done a really, really good job. What a huge loss. I remember when he got here, I remember all the challenges he had when he got here, and breaks my heart.
Thank you, Phyllis. Anybody else with public comment at this time? Yes, Vicente.
Well, Vicente Escalante, 310 North Pilsen Street. I just had a couple questions in regards to for the traffic safety meeting. Are those I know there's a committee, but are they open to the public if someone wants to sit down? I was checking the website. Is there like blurbs on the website that's kind of posted at like this is what time or like this is
We got
the
it
day
posted.
and stuff?
I will speak to that because I knew this was going to come up. I got it posted late on this last meeting, but it was posted and I YouTubed it. I did have some YouTube issues that night when they transitioned which I'm having again tonight, that camera just shut down. But it was YouTube, it was recorded, and the minutes are on the main repository as we speak. So, and yes, they are open to the public. The doors were wide open. So, and it will be 6 o'clock. We'll have the meetings at 6 o'clock right here on posted dates. So yes, I don't normally speak during this time, but I knew this was going to come up because I got it posted late. But I did have it posted outside too, but it just didn't get posted everywhere like I wanted to.
And it didn't get set till kind of late because we had a bunch of.
It was really late.
Then the last thing, just kind of going through the city website, I noticed that the council members hadn't been updated, so just something to keep in mind. All right, rest in peace, Dicular. He's still on there. But yeah, that was just what I was going to.
All right, thanks, Vicente. Okay, any other?
You got to turn. I knew that would come up.
No, that's okay. It's fine. Any other public comment at this time? Okay, seeing as there is none, Richard, you're up.
Okay.
Okay, a motion has been made. Go around the